Hey everyone, Rushlock here with our next episode of Evogana coverage of the blog from Rixx Javix. Today's post, How Blog Work. As always, remember if you enjoy these articles, be sure to click the link down in the description below the video and go bookmark Rixx's website. Also, if you're enjoying these read-throughs, be sure to hit the like button and leave a ridiculous comment. The more ridiculous, the better, as it will help with the visibility of the video. Be sure to subscribe to be notified when these videos come out. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Every so often, I find myself writing a post explaining the fundamentals of blogging, what Evogana actually is, and why it exists in the first place. These kind of posts tend to spring forth when some idiot on the interwebs tries to use my blog as an insult, or throw it in my face, or degrade me by mentioning how often I post, what I post about, or why I do it in the first place. All of which is fine, I guess. It happens from time to time. I don't know what to tell you. I can't explain it either. A few fundamentals. The blog is called Evoganda. Eve plus propaganda equals Evoganda. It's in the title. These words are mine. I write about whatever I want to write about. At the moment I write it. This is a journal of my time in EVE Online. If someone happens to be sure it will... If something happens, you can be sure it will find its way into these pages eventually. Do not pretend to be surprised when this happens. I write about fights, events, drama, conflict, and idiots I encounter. I often do not write about things. But you wouldn't know about that because they aren't written about. See how that works? I often use these pages to promote things like my own alliance and corporation, or events that I'm hosting, or artwork I've created. I also use this platform to promote other people's work, or events, or whatever that I feel like promoting. Like my last post about Rushlock's video channel. Look at that, a cameo. And then sometimes I will use these words as a device to garner attention to issues I feel need to have more attention. A soapbox. A channel to influence or challenge beliefs, or point out issues, or suggest changes to the game itself, or the community around it. I don't do this as much as I used to. The game has changed, and so has the community around it. Everything that I say here in these pages is just my opinion, my perspective, my own words. It is totally up to you to put whatever weight or meaning or attention to those words that you choose to. Mostly I write about things that interest me at the time I am writing about them. It takes a lot of work and dedication to write a blog for over 13 years. And over that time frame, I've said some stupid stuff, made more than a few mistakes, and edited or deleted more than a few posts over the years. I am a human being. I make boo-boos. I also make no money from this effort. Zip, zilch, nada. I do this for a wide variety of reasons. To stay in practice and to keep my copywriting skills sharp. To express my passion for the game and for the community. And to once again highlight issues that I feel deserve to be highlighted. It isn't complicated, and it is incredibly biased, insanely biased. This is not a news journal. This is my brain spewing out on these pages. I make no bones about it, or apologies, unless I am wrong. Then I've always been first person to admit it and own it, which has happened more than a few times. Mostly, however, I post to entertain. Every time I sit down to write, I strive to do so in an entertaining fashion, to entertain my readers and share my thoughts with them. I hope I do that each and every post. Why else would I keep doing this? It's insane. It barely ever benefits me in any way. It gets thrown in my face all the time. I make no profit from it. If anything, it causes me nothing but grief, and yet, here I am, once again typing away like a dum-dum. I write for me first. I wanted a journal of my time in EVE Online. I had no idea that would go on. I had no idea that would go on for so long, but it has. So I can't stop now. And I'm not going to. So let's get back to it until this pops up again in another 6 months, and I'll have to once again try to find a creative way to type the same words all over again. So the first thing that stood out to me was like the motivation for writing this. And it's usually some mad boy or some weirdo posting something negative and referencing created work. Or even the motivation for created work. And Rixx points out that there's no profit in this, there's no advertising. You notice on this website there are no ads. It isn't because I filtered them. You can see the site itself is pretty clean, right? It pops up when I check Ghostery. I'm sure certainly somebody wants me to talk about like, what? Rixx does this for nothing and free, and then have a whole narrative on that. But I think more importantly, sticking to the original point was these being motivated by somebody having some kind of negative post or take about it and making assumptions and things like that. The closest I can probably equate to it, my own personal experience, would be every couple of years there'll be a Reddit post thread of someone being angry, probably because they didn't win a giveaway, about how do these streamers, especially this Rushlock guy, get away with giving away all this ISK and having the nerve to require people to give him money to do it? And it's because they don't understand that when you do giveaways with ISK or any kind of similar giveaway in another game, you can't give away the prize to the person giving you the money. Instead, the people give you money, and then to celebrate or to say thank you, you give back and say, hey, we're going to do a giveaway for, and then insert whatever people are going to give away. It might seem pedantic or semantics to some people, but that's because those people typically don't understand how the whole system works. Or they're angry that they're not winning. That's also a possibility. That's probably the closest experience I've had to ever having to address things or talk about things. Those, in very infrequent Reddit posts where someone will complain about they think they understand the concept of RMT and they're gonna, save the world by exposing us and throwing things in our face and pretending they know what they're talking about. One, I guess, example I can share would be there was a Reddit thread probably about 2 years ago. It's probably my favorite post so far, where somebody had mentioned the channel and mentioned a bunch of accusations, and then I'd posted, here's my list of transparency, here's how things work, enjoy. And they were responded like, you're not even a real member of this community. I bet you've never even been mentioned on the subreddit before. First off, it was weird that, I guess from their perspective they were saying this community, they meant the subreddit, but it seems like a strange gatekeeping. But I simply searched Rushlock and brought up a post from 5 years before that with the exact same topic and the exact same discussion going on and linked it to them, and of course never heard back from them again. But it was my favorite post to read and my favorite post to respond to on the subreddit, where, you know what, you're right. This has never happened before. It'll never happen again. But that recurring negativity, thankfully, is few and far between. But it was the first thought that I had after reading Rixx's post here about having people throw your work in your face and complain and whine about it. But as always, if you've enjoyed these, thanks to XenonTex for what they do is they pick out about 2 blogs per week and throw them at me at Discord. This one I actually read on my own when it came out back in mid to late May. So I was very familiar with it and recognized it when I started reading it. In fact, I had to go back and double check to make sure. You can see here it says September. This was a reuse of an image here that I noticed as well. But thank you to XenonTech for posting these out. Thank you to Rixx for writing them. And thank you to all of you for listening to them. We'll see you in the next one.